Coming to you from City Hall in Macomb, Illinois. Hello, this is Mayor Mike Inman. It's April 30th, and it's our update on the COVID-19 outbreak here in McDonough County. You probably are aware by now that there were 4 additional cases reported, positive cases here in the county, 4 more victims, 4 more patients. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them as they're getting this diagnosis. Their family and friends are getting that diagnosis. Something we'd like to remind you of is that effective tomorrow, some things loosen up a bit, but they also tighten up a bit, if you get my drift. So the health department, in reading their release today, indicates that the health department strongly urges all residents to continue to wear cloth face coverings and practice physical distancing when in public. So now more than ever, as we've stressed, and we'll continue to stress, this is the time to double down on our efforts to social distancing, essential trips only, and then again, effective tomorrow, under Governor Pritzker's stay-at-home order, the new provisions require that face masks or coverings be utilized. So much like I have here in my pocket, right here, there'll be a mandate and expectation that when you're in a public setting, indoors for sure, that you'll be required to wear a face covering or a mask, and outside when you're not able to maintain those social distancing requirements. So 6 feet or less, you can't maintain, or excuse me, or more, you can't maintain that, then there'll be an expectation that you're going to do the right thing, the right thing to protect your health and the right thing to protect people's health in the community at large and other folks that you come into contact with by wearing a face mask. That is a requirement that will start tomorrow. And also remind you that if you still don't have a means by which to get a face mask or not aware of what the requirements are, a couple of websites. You can check out the health department website, and that's appearing on your screen now. And I'll stop for just a minute and remind you that this guidance, these news releases are available on the health department's website, as well as information about how you can make your own mask or merely fashion a t-shirt or some other cloth covering for your face. Please don't get hung up on it. It has to be a certain style or something like that. There's guidance on there. At the end of the day, it's very readily available on many social media outlets, but the health department has a really good website cranked up for that purpose, as well as sharing information and CDC guidance on how to deal with things if you suspect that you have been exposed to the coronavirus. To that extent, testing has been, I'll say, more widely available now. Many of the requirements have been eased, and you can still, the preference would be for you to kind of go through the nurse hotline and let them know you're coming, get the guidance from the folks at MDH. You don't necessarily have to have a doctor's order anymore, but again, to maintain an orderly flow, that number is on your screen now, and make sure you reach out to the folks out there, let them know you're coming, and so that you can be expected and take advantage of that now as well. Some of the easing of the restrictions that take effect tomorrow, May 1st, are non-essential businesses. Those other retail establishments now will be able to take orders online or over the phone, and then you can pick them up outside the building, or their building, or they can be delivered to you at your home. And I think we have a fair number of our small businesses that are going to take advantage of that. I think that's an important step in the right direction from an economic standpoint, but we've also shared with them the importance of maintaining as much as possible that contactless interface, or the fact that they'll be required to wear face masks and enter in, even in that exchange outside. You'll be required to make you'll be required to have a face mask on too in those interactions. So again, a slight inconvenience, but in a trade-off though for more of our economic activity, our small businesses that are hurting so much, an opportunity for them to get back into the marketplace a little bit. And as we continue to talk about small businesses a little bit, remind you that, for example, Monday night at the City Council meeting, we'll look at several small businesses that are going to be trying to partner with the city for financial funding to keep them afloat and keep them in business. That's a program we're very proud to be a part of. That's a combination of local backup funds matched with state and federal funds coming from the federal stimulus program. The following Monday, we'll look at another list of small businesses that we're in line to provide that assistance to. My point here is that if you're a small business owner in Macomb and McDonough County, there are still funds available from a variety of support and stimulus projects. Please, if you've not already had a chance to look at those on site, you can check those on the Chamber's website. That contact information is here. Or contact the Office of Community Development. That number will be available on your screen here in a moment as well too. And we'll provide some guidance. The Chamber's website has a whole list, and you can contact those links directly, and you can see if you're eligible, and if it's looked like something you want to take advantage of, start the process. And if you need some assistance, some guidance, a little hand-holding, and I mean that in the very most positive way, please reach out to either the Office of Community Development here or the Macomb Area Economic Development Corporation. That contact information is on your screen as well, and we'll try to help guide you through that process as best we can. It does require some work on your part. Some of it is paper intensive, but we have a number of folks in the community that have already been the benefactors from some of those programs, and there's every reason to believe that there's other small businesses that are eligible and would likely get funding if they commit to doing the paperwork. Some other recreational opportunities. Spring Lake Park will be open tomorrow for some restricted activities. Campgrounds still closed. That's still not available at this time, but biking and trails and hiking and some other activities out there that had been kind of put on hold until some of the facilities were ready. For example, you'll be able to access the restroom out there for the purposes of not only using the restroom, but washing your hands. Again, one of those important social distancing attempts to, again, slow the spread of the virus. And again, social distancing will have to be employed on those trails. At the end of the day, if you go out there and not able to maintain social distancing because either out there or some other physical space where it's just not doable because there are more people there than can accommodate physical distancing, we'd ask that you make the right decision, leave the area, come back when there are fewer people there. So again, some other restrictions that are being lifted for those of you that are golfers. You'll be able to get on area golf courses that are open with some rather strict guidelines on how to participate, and those are all available on both the Health Department's website, the Illinois Department of Public Health's website, and other websites that should be able to get you that information. And I'm sure that if you're going to one of those facilities, it will be well published what the criteria is for completion or participation in those. Going back to our total case count here, 18. I'm going to share a little of the demographic information with you. Not to shame anyone, that's not what this is about. I just want to call your attention to one notable data point as it exists today with these numbers. Over 2/3 of the patients, the victims of this virus, are 30 years of age or younger. I'm going to repeat that. They're 30 years of age or younger. So much of the story up to this point about this disease, that it affects an older population. That's not the case here. And I don't say that to shame anyone. I share that to encourage those folks who are of a younger age that believe that somehow this isn't going to affect them and their behavior is maybe not fully compliant with the spirit of the stay-at-home order. 2/3 of the victims in McDonough County are younger people. And again, I'm not pointing the finger here. I'm just drawing it to your attention so that you can encourage them to be mindful of washing their hands, social distancing, complying with the stay-at-home order so that they don't become patients and victims of this virus. So again, words of encouragement, but also words of caution, and so that we can get through this together. As we stand here today in Macomb, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful spring day. It's 70 degrees. Again, like I've said before, you'd walk outside and forget that we were in the middle of a global pandemic. And part of me understands that we got to think that way once in a while to keep our sanity. And I completely understand that. I would just encourage you to, when you can, get out, exercise for both your physical and mental health. Again, all you have to do is keep in mind those social distancing guidelines. Go with members of your own household. avoid contact with other groups that may be out engaging in the same activity. Be friendly, say hi, smile, but again, from a distance. There'll be a day sooner than later where we'll all be able to get back together and do the things that we're so anxious to do right now and really want and need to do right now. But right now we need to focus on the prize here, and that's to continue to minimize to the best we can the spread of this disease. And it's all really in our ballpark, in our ability. Again, be mindful of those folks in the community that are completely isolated as individuals. Reach out to them, call them, touch base with them on social media, and to the extent that you can do it safely and employ social distancing, stop by, say hi. Another thing I want to remind you folks of is that for those of you that are watching us on YouTube and you have friends who are not able to access this via YouTube, either they don't have an internet connection or whatever the case may be, this is available on the city's website, again, also through other social media platforms, but more importantly, it's available on both MTC cable and Comcast cable on those local government channels, whether that be channel 15 on Comcast or I believe it's channel 3 or 6 on MTC. Those are available to your friends that don't have access to internet activity. So again, trying to get the word out as best we can. Feel free to share this, and while you're doing that, encourage folks to comply with the stay-at-home order. We can do this, we can do it together, and we'll stay in touch. Thank you.